Hello, everyone. It's been a long one. I just got finished cooking dinner and eating, and I typically cook and Lee will clean up, and Mo is here. Um, he usually stays like 2 nights and then he goes home, so he'll be here just probably through tonight. He'll probably be back Tuesday. Um, but I'm exhausted and I need a shower, or actually I'm going to take a bath. But I got my question for the day, and I'm going to address it. It's interesting to me how it's cut up so much. I kind of thought that it was going to start from the beginning and keep going, but they're asking different questions. So anyway, um, um, so I did that, did dinner, and before I take a bath, I'm going to address this question. So the question I have today is, what are my thoughts and feelings about my donor? Man, that's a question. It's quite the question. Um, wow. Where do I start? um, I didn't give donor much thought because we tried so hard to get a living donor. My daughter applied, my stepson applied, and he actually was a match, and he actually went to Ohio State and did all the testing, but turns out I needed more liver, so he wasn't able to donate. Countless friends, countless clients, and people that I don't even know applied, and I'm grateful for all of those people individually. And I can't see, so it's driving me nuts. My sugar's super high all day today. I'm running in the high 300s, low 400s. My A1C is 12.2. So we're working on getting that checked, but I'm super blind. I can't see. It comes and goes with my sugar, and it's interesting that today I can't see much. So it's weird looking because I'm all blurry. But anyway, so when I woke up from my transplant, I still had a breathing tube in me, so I couldn't talk. That frustrated me really bad because I'm a talker. But so I had to lay awake and do a lot of thinking. And it hit me so hard laying there that someone lost their life and I'm still here because of that. That's something that's etched. The transplant community, we have quite the transplant community. It's really cool. But we all say there's absolutely no way you can describe that feeling. There's no way you can describe what it's like unless you've been here. Obviously, donors are anonymous, and they don't tell you anything about them. You have the opportunity to write the family, which I've done. I waited 6 months to do that. And I did not get a response, and that's very normal. So it had only been 6 months, and they had lost someone who I'm sure was very important to them. So, however, in my case, I can never do anything normal. I have to always take it to a place it doesn't need to go, but that's just me. I have had complications since my transplant, and some of them have been pretty serious. And in those things that have happened, Um, I, I lost my train of thought. But in those things that have happened, I have learned more about my donor than I probably should know. By hearing doctors speak and reading things in my MyChart. I got addicted to reading my MyChart in every aspect, the notes, everything. And I know that at transplant, I was 3 times the size of my donor. I know that because I've had so many bile duct issues, and the size difference, I may even put a screenshot of that up here, but the size difference is causing some issues in my bile duct. And I've had 2, 3, 4 ERCPs where they go in and they put some stents in your bile duct. The first time I had 2, and I had them in for 6 months, and they went in because I was having issues, and they put in 2 more maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that the third time I got 5 stents because my bile duct was just not working. It had collapsed. So then after that particular procedure, a couple days I still had some pain in my side, and it didn't go away, but nevertheless, I had another one. We lost a stent, don't know where it went, but I find out that it's I'm 3 times the size of my donor. 200 pounds, I'm 3 times the size of my donor. I do not know if my donor was a male or a female, but I have heard the doctor say he. So I'm sure it's an in general term. I don't know, but a couple times now they've referred to donor as he. So, and in talking to a couple other people on the transplant community, some coordinators, things like that. My donor could very well have been very young, pretty young. And I don't know how young, but in reading some things and hearing some things, we're just making an assumption around between 14 and 17, 14 and 18, and could be as young as 12. But again, we don't know 100%. It's just in hearing things that the doctors say and reading things in my MyChart. So I'm 3 times the size of my donor, and then at transplant I was under 100, or I was under 200 pounds. So that even takes less off. So it really doesn't matter the age, but the size of the person was very small. So that also created some sadness maybe. But when I think of my donor, whether it be an adult or a child, it doesn't matter. They're no longer here, and I'm still here because of a selfless gift from someone that I can only refer to as a hero. And that person saved my life, and more than likely 6 or 7 others. And so that person or that person's family said yes to organ donation. And that's really, really, really near and dear to my heart now. Obviously, organ donation is so important. The words grateful don't describe it enough. And I don't know if you've seen the news segments, that I think some of them are down below and in the journals, but the way the way I talked about my donor was grateful and thankful, and I am so grateful and so thankful. And I think about my donor and my donor's family every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of my donor and his family, his or her family. Grateful for life, for sure. And honoring that donor is so important to me. I honor my donor by wearing a liver necklace. It's just a liver, shaped like a liver. And yeah. And I have some other things too, but I really honor my donor by being careful and selective of what I put in my body, of how I treat myself, and how I treat others. I don't know who my donor family is. I know that they're not here in this state, but how do I know that it's not the person I see at the Speedway or at the grocery store? I don't know that that's not their family. So I try to be, I'm a Gemini, so there's two sides of me, but I try to be grateful and thankful for every little thing. If somebody holds open the door for me, moves out of the way, it's just polite. I be very polite back, and if somebody's not smiling, I'll try to say something positive so that they smile. I want to use this life that I have a second chance at to raise awareness for organ donation and for I'm just hearing this car and I live in a residential neighborhood, so I don't know how it's going that fast. But anyway, just honoring that person means a lot to me, and just being so grateful. I have a second chance at life, and that person did not. The liver was also Hep B positive, so I don't know what type of lifestyle that person lived, or did they get it at birth? And thankfully, my body's never picked it up. I mean, I got a Hep B positive liver, and it's not been detected in my system, although they keep me on the Hep B medication still. When I first got out of transplant, I honored my donor a whole lot. All four sides of my ankles and my feet. I mean, they're tattooed up. I got a lot of ink, and a lot of it's for my donor. Some lyrics to some songs, and some there's a Donate Life tattoo, and a lot of different ribbons and lyrics. And my liver, I got my sick liver here and a well liver here. And if I ever find out my donor's name, if I ever find out what my donor's name was, I'm gonna have their name tattooed on me as well. I've done a lot of reflecting on that, and how do you thank a family who lost a loved one, a little loved one, a small person? And how do you thank them without reminding them that their loved one is gone? I feel emotionally attached to them, even though I don't know them. I feel mentally attached. I think about them always. I feel spiritually attached. I know, if you know me, you know that my that my closet was predominantly black clothes all the time. And I still got a lot of black clothes, but I wear a lot of color now. And I didn't before. And I don't know if that's weird to you or not, but it makes me wonder, you know. Some things I don't like now that I used to really love, and some things I really love that I didn't used to like. I don't know. Those may be obsessive thoughts or weird thoughts, but they're my thoughts. I love them. I have genuine love for him or her, for giving up, and that's a whole other thing, but for giving up the thoughts and the misconceptions out there about organ donation. You know, I can't donate for religious reasons, or they're going to let me die on purpose so they can save others. And none of that's true. And there's no religion that, no known religion that is against organ donation. There's so many misconceptions about organ donation. It's crazy. But I don't know if those things are weird. I wake up every day and I just hold my side and know that organ that I have this huge scar from is because there's somebody else's organ in me. That's hard to explain how that feels. Like, this body organ was once functioning in another body, in another human's body. It's hard to comprehend that they can put it in there, sew you up, and send you on your way. And there's clearly more than that, but it pretty much sums it up for me anyway. So I went through so much along the lines of survivor's guilt, and I had to see the transplant counselor because it's very, very common and it's very normal, and just feeling guilty that there's two things. I felt guilty because I took a liver that could have potentially went to somebody else who was also sick and going through what I was going through, when I could have just been left for 3 or 4 days and I would have been gone. There's that. And there is the fact that this person died and they're no longer with us, and he lives on with me. Or she, I don't know. Gratitude, so much gratitude. What happened in counseling was pivotal when she told me that person wasn't going to live anyway. That person was gone anyway. Whether it was for me or for somebody else or somebody, whoever, when you're an organ donor, you don't say, well, I want this to go to this person, or I want these to go to these people, or I want these to stay in my race or stay in my religion, or it's not like that. So this liver would have went to somebody else anyway. And it was my time. It was my call. It was my liver. And so I had to let that survivor's guilt go. And that helped. That really helped. But I'm grateful for so much. I'm happy. I'm doing amazing in some ways, and I'm not so much in others. I still have issues with my bile duct, and some other things that are coming up. And I'm sure that'll all be in another video. But this one was about my donor, and I'm going to wrap it up by saying there's no amount of gratitude and thankfulness that I can project out there to describe how I feel about the person who lost their life and so graciously saved mine and others. How do you thank somebody for that? You just live the rest of your life to the fullest, and you honor them, and you advocate. You can't, why take it with you? Why have these organs buried or burn up? Why not save somebody's life? One can save 8. Why not? Like, I'm so grateful that that person said yes. And I encourage you, if you're not an organ donor, to please, please, please go on the Donate Life website, donatelife.org, and register to be an organ donor. In tribute to my organ donor. That's it. And I promised myself that I wouldn't get emotional, because I've already got these things that are showing up, because I'm on the go and I'm so tired all the time, and I do a lot of crying. You would too if you almost died and somebody's amazing decision made it to where you could live. So in all the ways, I honor my donor, and I talk to them a lot. And I do things the way I feel right about how I honor them. And there it is. So bunches and bunches of gratitude and thankfulness and gratefulness. I'm just grateful. So grateful. The amount of grateful is inhuman. It overrides love sometimes. And I'm grateful to be here. And thank you if you're an organ donor already, because there are people out there waiting who are dying in hospice care and who won't get to graduate. I got a couple of good friends in the transplant community who are waiting on the list, waiting for a transplant. My donor is my hero, along with my husband and my brother-in-law. My donor's right there, and his or her liver is filtering those toxins so they don't go to my brain. When I look at my son, I know who he is. When I hold my new granddaughter, I know who she is. And my grandsons, I get to watch them grow. Maybe for a limited amount of time. We'll talk about that later. But gratitude, thankfulness, and gratefulness, and all those things. It's an emotional topic, because it just comes up when I talk about my donor. Thanks for watching, and These questions, guys. See you tomorrow.